Hi, I'm Kelley Pitts and I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I would just love for you to stay tuned for me to show you some cards that I have going on as a Christmas Eve gift to you. I am just learning about doing videos and I've got a long way to go, but I hope you'll be patient with me if you're having a chance to watch. I know this is a busy day and a lot of family time. I just thought this might be a good time to jump on and practice a little bit. I worked on a lot of Christmas cards this year. I think it was so important to actually send out Christmas cards this year, since we're not very connected like we used to be before all this pandemic started. And I am hoping to be able to watch this video like you are. I have to be able to see it on my screen to be able to tell what's going on. So hopefully we're on the air and maybe somebody is tuned in to watch. I'm excited to be here and wish you again Merry Christmas and Happy New Year coming up. Just wanted to let you know kind of what I have going on, what I did this year for Christmas cards, and I will get going here. I wanted to let you know, as a Stampin' Up demonstrator, I love our products, the quality of the products, everything about them. And we have a holiday catalog that is about to expire in early January. And the suite that I used for all these cards that I made to send out and hopefully give a little hug to some people in the mail was called the Most Wonderful Time Product Medley. And it is on sale now, and in the Stampin' Up website, you can go to my createwithkelley.com and go to shop and find this suite. But the main thing I wanted to show you is just some of the cards and kind of what I did. If some of you are paper crafters, that's awesome. If you're not, if you have wondered what I was talking about when I say I made cards, I just thought it would be fun to share with you on Christmas some of the Christmas cards that I made. So we have, in the Most Wonderful Time suite, we actually have a stamp set and dies inside. The stamp set itself has Christmas trees, greetings, little bows that go on packages that come in two different, I'll turn it both ways so you can kind of see it a little bit, hopefully. We've got Deck the Halls, Oh Christmas Tree, Hope You Have a Wonderful Christmas, Comfort and Joy, and I use different ones on various cards. I actually came up with 17 different cards out of this product medley, and it is filled with wonderful designer series paper, and it has a set of dies and the set of stamps that I used. So I'll just start with one of the cards that came from this set. This one, I not only used the Most Wonderful Christmas set, but I also used a Snowman Season stamp set that came from last year. But this is one of the designer series papers that are in the kit, and it has such a variety. It's just amazing how many different looks you can get from one product medley. But the Christmas tree, you saw the die earlier, that was stamped and then cut out with the die and added a few embellishments. Let me show you the die again, just in case you don't know what I'm talking about on a die. If you're new, you may not have. You just stamp, you put the ink to paper, you put the actual stamp on a block and stamp it on your paper, and then cut it out with a die. This is what the Christmas tree die cuts out, that shape right there, out of your paper. And that's how those all work. The packages were cut out. We stamped them in two different sets. You stamp the packages, and then you stamp the gold emboss. I used Versamark and then gold embossing powder, and then cut that out with the die. So that's how that works. Also, the little angel came in that set. I used the Merry Christmas from the Snowman Season set, as I used this greeting, Hope This Season Builds Heartwarming Memories. That came from the Snowman Season set also. So I thought that was a cute one. We'll move on to the next one. We have a similar card that uses the designer series paper out of that product Medley. I did the Christmas tree the same way. I just actually stamped it in Versamark onto old olive paper, used gold embossing powder, and made the tree. The banner came actually in the kit, and then I used the Stitch So Sweetly dies. Yes. The little rectangles out of here, I cut and kind of made a frame, kind of like a window frame photo for the Christmas tree. And then actually we have some red velvet paper this year that is just beautiful. And I used a texture folder that's called Old World Paper Embossing Folder. Ran that through the Stampin' Emboss and Cut machine. Also, Stampin' Cut and Emboss, excuse me, I got it backwards. And then I just stamped the Hope You Have a Wonderful Christmas from the Most Wonderful Time set on here. And just stamped the Friends and Family are the truest gifts of Christmas. And I'll show you that. That came out of a different stamp set that I'll show you in a minute. So a pretty easy card. Just cut out the background designer series paper and then put these together. Well, I wouldn't say easy. It has a few steps, but it is fairly simple to do. So just wanted to let you know that's the second one. Then we're going to move on to kind of a different look. And I have, this is one of the gorgeous papers, another one of the gorgeous papers in that suite and of the product Medley. We also had, I used the dies from the Stitch Nested Labels dies to cut out the gold foil and then to cut out the red. And then we also have a wonderful die set called Word Wishes. And that's what I used. It actually has the Merry Christmas outline here. That's what I cut out of old olive paper and stacked it onto the real red and the gold foil. I have a little sticker here that came from the kit that coordinates with the inside and the outside. You kind of always want to bring the inside in. And it's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year. Came from a different stamp set. I just kind of made a lot of different combinations this year with these cards, but I have made this type of flap before. It's called a fun fold, and I just call it a front flap. It was fairly simple to do. You just cut out about a 1-inch strip of paper on each side of this card base, and then you cut in on the card base about 3/4 of an inch on each side. And it's just the standard card base of 8.5 by, it's actually 5.5 by, let's see, 8.5 by 11 is a regular sheet. So 8.5, I have lost my words here. 5.5 by 4.25 this way. 5.5, 4.25. So there's that one. That came from the Merry Christmas set. Has a stamp set that goes with it, and then actually the Merry Christmas I already showed you. That one was the Word Wishes dies. Then I took the same card just to show you it doesn't all have to be Christmas. It can be Christmas colors, and this one is a thank you that I sent to I'm about to send. I finished it up today to send to my customers. So on that one I have Giving Thanks for You with a Very Grateful Heart. And just have the stickers again from the product Medley in there. So that's a fun little set. And the thank you is from the Well Said stamp set, as is the greeting that I showed you on the inside of the thank you, the Giving Thanks for You with a Grateful Heart, which I am very grateful for all of my Stampin' Up! Customers out there and friends out there and everybody who's enjoying Christmas. I just wanted to pop in and kind of show you some of these. So I'll go to the next stack. Here we have, I'll move this out of the way. Here we have a beautiful set. This stamp set is it's called From Unto Us, For Unto Us, and it has some beautiful sentiments in it. This one is actually cut out, the white piece of paper, the Whisper White, is cut out with the stitch shape framelit die, the largest of those. And then I cut the Mossy Meadow out with just a circle die. Any circle die you have would work if you're trying to replicate this card. And all I did was score it and kind of tuck it in underneath the Pear Pizzazz layer here. Stuck that in, glued it, and then I cut this white layer is the same as this white layer. They're the same size. And the Glory to the Newborn King and Merry Christmas come from the For Unto Us stamp set also. And it's just a fun fold where the flap just goes over there. You just have to be careful that your greeting and everything is covered up by this little flap. And then you have room to write whatever you'd like to write to your folks here. And I'm trying to get all this information to come up on my iPad, and it doesn't seem to be working. So I'm a little delayed on what I can see. So if y'all are making a comment, I will hopefully catch it soon. The folder that I actually used on that one was the Tasteful Textiles embossing folder. And again, I made that one into a thank you card. I can't thank you enough with giving thanks with a grateful heart again. Isn't that beautiful? This paper is just gorgeous. It has the gold foil on it, and it's really just lovely. This was my initial card that I designed, was with the Comfort and Joy, and I did a wreath with the little stickers, and I decided that was a little bit of overkill, so that's how I made the other two options. You can always change your mind on things. This one has the subtle texture folder in the background. So those are those three. And the stamp set that I used on the I Can't Thank You Enough comes from the So Sentimental stamp set, which is an awesome one. I love the sending healing hugs instead of always just saying, get well soon. I just love the whole hugs thing. I love the paper hugs that you send in the mail and love the just the whole idea of that. So I'm enjoying that stamp set a lot. I use it quite often. Also, another card from the product Medley is this Deck the Halls one. And I used the Stitch So Sweetly scalloped edged rectangles here. And this came from, the Deck the Halls came from the Most Wonderful Time suite, as did the label. And the product Medley came with this darling little tinsel. I just love it. I also used a Pear Pizzazz layer on the inside to kind of magically have the tinsel attached there. I adhered the tinsel in between the gold layer and the Pear Pizzazz layer here. And then you have room for your greeting on the inside. Again, if you're making this card, you have to be kind of particular about exactly where that piece goes so that it's hidden by this one and you have the little holly berries peeking through that way. But that's just a typical Mossy Meadow color. Then I also used the stitch shapes, the stitched scalloped little rectangles that come from the Stitch So Sweetly dies. And I used the Let the Joy of the Season Fill Your Heart, which is from, let's see where that is. That is from the Wrapped in Christmas stamp set. And I used several of these greetings on my cards. So this was a well-used stamp set this year. This is the one that, the previous one that I mentioned, that It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year came from. And I did several versions of this with different ribbons, and I really just kind of liked it like it was. I just stamped it in Memento Black and then filled in with a Real Red marker. Stack these on dimensionals, and this is called a gatefold card. And again, I showed you earlier the friends and family are the truest gifts of Christmas on the inside. And then this was just fussy cut out from some of the designer series paper that's in the kit. I scribbled a little background behind it. Somehow I like for things to be grounded. I don't like the gift just floating in the air. So I just always put a little bit, either using a blender pen or a marker or a Stampin' Blend, something like that, to kind of give it a shadow so that I feel like whatever the object is sitting on something. But simple card there. Getting all these in my little stack. And now we've got a totally different look, but still from the same set. And that is for the outdoorsy people on my list. I have friends and family members who really enjoy deer hunting, or some of them want to watch the deer, some of them want to shoot the deer. Whatever it is that you like, if you just like nature and being outdoors, this set has beautiful trees in it. And then I used the, I believe it's called Evergreen texture folder. I'm not sure the exact name of it, that I used on the trees in the background here, and then just adhered the paper. This is the ribbon from the Forever Greenery combo pack, and the deer stickers were in the product medley. Still trying to get my iPad to work over here. It's not wanting to do anything for me. I guess I'll just not worry about it. Okay, the deer has Stampin' Dimensionals behind him, and I used some of the little foam adhesive strips on the little skinny parts there of the deer, and I embossed the Merry Christmas. That stamp set is from the For Unto Us stamp set, and it's just embossed with gold. The Sharing With You the Glory, Wonder, and Miracle of This Season is from that same stamp set. Sorry I don't have it here to show you. It is in the holiday catalog. If you're interested, I'll be glad to help you with that. But that is embossed, and then it's cut out with the stitched rectangle dies. This one I use constantly. It has a lot of different sizes, and I have these mounted on magnetic sheets. It does not come this way from Stampin' Up, but I feel like this is easier for me to keep up with. I lose things too easily. But obviously that was the die I used for that one, and then used one of the larger ones on the inside to cut out that greeting. Then along the same lines of the deer card, I did another gatefold. These stickers were in the kit also. Isn't that beautiful? And used the Most Wonderful Time stamp set to do the gold embossing on the tree, and then cut it out with those coordinating dies. They had several of the gold, excuse me, gold papers that were in the, excuse me, goodness, I haven't been talking today. Whew. Sorry about that. Ooh, suddenly hoarse. So this just uses a little bit different paper at the top. Another beautiful deer paper came from that set, and this holds a gift card. It was just an easy way. You just take your same 4 1/4 by 11 paper, fold it in half, score it at 5 1/2, and then fold it over inside, and then your little gift card will fit right in there, which I put a little piece of paper in there, and it's too small for me to grab at the moment. So my apologies for my hoarseness all of a sudden. The little stars came in the kit also, but I just thought that was a beautiful way to showcase a gift card. Another one designed with this same paper. This is a gift card holder too. Opens up a different way, horizontally or vertically, whichever way you want to design the card. And this has more of that cute little tinsel from the Most Wonderful Time product medley. This one I saw online. I did see a video that was a step card like this, and I just had to make it myself. I would give credit to whoever it was who did it, but I cannot remember at the moment. I believe it may have been Jan Brown, but it had a red and green background, and I just really wanted to try it out with the trees, coordinating trees. And I don't know if you can really see how 3D this actually is. And it's made just by scoring from a flat piece of paper. You just cut it and score it, and then fold it properly, and it really gives a 3D effect. I really, since I've got such a delay, I can't really see if you're able to see this, but all I did was a little bit of blending in the background. I kind of made some shadows for the deer and the trees, added a few of the gold glitter gems and some of the ribbon that we have, that's the gold metallic edge ribbon, a little bit of gold foil. All of the stars and the deer die cuts came in the product medley kit. Now, for a totally different change of pace, once again, I have an easel card. Hope you can see that, how that works. But we now have gone from holly and berries and trees and deer to candy canes. So this is a fun little easel card. Hopefully the folks that I sent this to will know how to set that up. But it really is an easy one. You just take your piece of paper here, kind of turn it sideways, glue that on, and then trim it off even with your 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 front piece here. And then your base, your card base, is the typical 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2, and then this is just scored and you fold it back on itself. The fun little candy canes were in the kit, and these were from the wonderful gems, and then this is one of the gold glitter gems. I showed you the grateful heart and other greetings that I used previously. That's what I used here. And then the wishing you the sweetest season and the little candy canes came from the sweetest, it's called the Sweetest Borders dies and the Sweetest Time stamp set, the wishing you the sweetest season. Isn't that cute? Just sits up on the little ledge. All you do is just put some of the foam adhesive strips below your paper here on the sides, and then it will just prop right up. And then this was cut out with the die. I'll show you another one in just a moment. That's from the Sweetest Borders dies. All right, now we have another candy cane set, and this one just kind of looks like magic, doesn't it? Open up that way, and the deck the halls peeks through, so you have to be careful again when you're putting your greeting in or signing it with your name before you send your card out, so that you be sure to hide that behind these pieces. But this was cut with the Stitch So Sweetly dies, the little scalloped rectangles again, a little bit of the tinsel, and I raised the candy canes up on the foam adhesive strips. So there you go. And a few of the red rhinestones and some of the most wonderful gems, I believe that's called, or wonderful gems. Another one with that set. I love this one. And it is cut out with the candy cane die from the Sweetest Borders dies. I'll show you that. So you just make sure you've got your Whisper White paper lined up where you want it, and then you use the die through your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, run that through, and voila, you have a wonderful little candy cane treat for somebody. I used the red rhinestones in the centers and used some of the red braided trim. The Wishing You the Sweetest Season is from the Sweetest Time dies, as are the candy canes here, and then this is from the Stitched Rectangle. So you've got a little bit of room to write here, and you wouldn't want to write down here where it would show below those candy canes. But isn't that cute? Just the white on the red just makes darling little candy canes. And this designer series paper is part of that product medley also. that's in the pack. One more card from that suite that has a totally different look, but it is from the same die set, the Sweetest Borders dies. Has the holly leaves, and what I did was die cut the holly out of the old olive paper and mounted it on the mossy meadow. And the red strip, I just put a skinny little red strip in on the die, ran the die through, and then meticulously put glue in each of those little spaces and glued the dots in from that red strip. So it did take a little while, but I think it was worth the effort. The Surround Yourself in the Love of the Season is also from that Wrapped in Christmas set that I showed you previously. And the Merry Christmas, isn't that beautiful, with the holly and a little bit of Wink of Stella. I don't know if I showed you the Wink of Stella brush earlier. If you're not familiar with that, you need to have one of these, whether you do crafts or not. It is a fun little glitter brush that we have that's called Wink of Stella, and it just makes everything shine. And don't we all want to do that? So there's that one. So that's all the holly and the candy canes that we have. I'm going to move this pile before it falls over. We have just a couple more, a few more. This one I have designed in, it's basically the same card base, the same design. I just made this one first with a belly band, which is what you call this when it slips on and off of your card. That's called a belly band. And it was die cut from the Detailed Bands dies. And that is this one right here. It's cut out, nope, this one. Cut out of gold foil and then mounted on the red, real red paper. And the Hope You Have a Wonderful Christmas is on the die that came out of the Deck the Halls, out of the Most Wonderful Time set. But when you open this up, and I'm going to move this aside so y'all can see everything. You open this up, and I was evidently going to do a couple more of those. I lost that. But it opens like this. You can set it up on the mantle, or whoever you send it to, who's proud of it, can do that. I use the Sweetest Time dies again, Borders dies with the little candy canes, and use that paper there. You just have to mount your braided trim and a little tinsel, just wrap it around your Whisper White piece before you adhere that. And you just be careful when you're choosing your patterns to make sure that they all work together, looking at it this way or looking at it open like this. I kind of like to alternate the darks and lights. This one has the red against the gold. It really picks up the gold in that. So you just kind of be careful when you're choosing the patterns and think about how they're all going to look whenever they're open to whatever stage the card is, when your recipient is opening and closing and opening and then reopening it. Having a lot of fun with that. All right, so this is the same card, just done without the belly band, and just used a little bit different ribbon here. But this is from the Stitch So Sweetly dies, and it just pops open, but that doesn't bother me. So I kind of like it like that. And once again, you can sit it on your mantelpiece or on a table or whatever, wherever you want to celebrate. Alrighty, and that came from, you would never guess that the stamp set that goes with the dies is called Band Together. It's not even a Christmas set at all, but I just combined it with that card because I just thought the belly band would be beautiful with that piece of gold foil on there. So these are from the annual catalog and not the holiday catalog. I also, from the dies, I used the larger of the dies with this card, and the Christmas Blessings to You and Yours is from the Wrapped, let's see, I don't have it right here. I'm not sure which stamp set that is. I can't remember, but it's a beautiful one. And then some of the sheer red ribbon. And then Let the Joy of the Season Fill Your Heart that I've used on the previous ones. I kind of combined several different stamp sets on this particular one. The Christmas Blessings may be from the For Unto Us, but I'm not sure. I think it's from the wrapped one. Let's find it. Wrapped in Christmas. Yes, this is the stamp set for that. So I've used it, as I told you earlier, how I used it on several different cards, and certainly I did. Okay, this is the last one that I can find at the moment, so out of that set. But I just feel like that For Unto Us stamp set is just beautiful, and I have loaned it to a team member, so I do not have it to show you at the moment, but I'm glad she's getting good use of it. And I really feel like this Christ is the reason for Christmas, and that's why we're celebrating. And so I really love this card. I love the way the Hark the Herald Angels Sing, Glory to the Newborn King is featured on here in gold embossing. And I cut this out of the smallest of the Stitch So Sweetly dies and ran it through the Subtles texture folder. I just felt like there was too much white here, and it really needed to be dressed up. To be fit for a king, that's what it should be. So this was a triple flap card. It probably looks a little bit harder than it is. It's not that difficult. You just have to pay attention to which side you put your glue on of each of the flaps so that you mount it properly. But I thought about doing a video for this one itself and showing you all the details. So if y'all are interested in seeing that still, even if it's after Christmas, I'm happy to do that for you. Just let me know. Well, I hope you're having a wonderful Christmas, and I appreciate you tuning in. And once again, this is from the Most Wonderful Time stamp set and dies. This is called a product medley. I have misplaced my catalog at the moment, but I'll just leave a couple of these up while we finish up. I hope you're having a wonderful Christmas with your friends and family, and wishing you a wonderful 2021. I know we're all ready to get 2020 out of the way. We have had it with it. And I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope it's been a nice break from your television watching. Thanks again for tuning in. If you missed the live, hope you'll check out the replay on my website or my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Create With Kelley. And Kelley is Kelley. If you have any questions or are interested in purchasing any of the Stampin' Up! Products, let me know. But most of all, I just wanted to wish you a Merry Christmas and let you know what I mean when I say I do a lot of paper crafting and make a lot of cards. I hope people enjoyed it this year, and I didn't get to send one to everyone, so I thought I would just kind of share these paper hugs virtually. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Kelley Pitts, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I'm really thrilled to have you watching. Thank you. Have a great Christmas and a Happy New Year. Bye-bye. Fun times ahead.